I think I just want to start actually today with one of my favorite quotes because I think it's fitting. And that would be, if you want to go somewhere really, really fast, go alone. If you want to go somewhere really, really far, go as a team. I'm honored and blessed to be a member of the IBAM team in my current position and all the previous positions I've held. I'm also very grateful for my team at Cameron Agencies, my local brokerage that supports me so well, all the people in industry, all the committees and everything I've ever been on and been a part of. It's a great honor, and thank you very much. So I guess I'm going to try to keep this fairly short. Grant has a time clock in 90 minutes, but I don't think that's for me. So I guess I would dub this year, kind of one of the things, my thoughts would be different but the same. And what do I mean by that? So when you think about it, almost everything we do and how we do it is different. But the why is exactly the same. Nothing's changed. So I think that's important to think about as things pop up in every day. So even when I started to prepare way back when for the speech, I was thinking about a much larger venue. How am I going to do this? The reality is the number of people in the room is probably twice the population of the town I grew up in. So I thought to myself, you know, what should I do? Who can I talk to that packs auditoriums, knows how to speak, and has tons of experience? And I thought, well, the man to my left, Grant, you know, he's been at university, people come, they're happy, they're smiling, they might show up a little bit late. Then it kind of dawned on me. Your parents didn't pay for you to come and watch me and pretend you're having fun. So I thought, scrap that idea. So reset to that. So if I'm going to look at a theme, I guess I would pick kind of common themes for where we're at and focus. Probably the one thing that can get more things done in a fast manner is focus. So if I'm to look at some of the things that have been going on, obviously the commercial markets, we all know has been extremely challenging and really a double-edged sword. You have businesses that's revenues are falling catastrophically, and at the same time we're turning around and saying either we don't have a provider for you, or yeah, it's very unfortunate that your revenue's down, but we still our best market's a 30% increase. So I think that's a thing that we just need to continue to work on, and hopefully as things progress this year, more markets will come in, voids will be filled. And then two other things, obviously that have been great focus, have been MPI, which Grant alluded to, and also COVID. When you think about it, we hear that every day. So the other part, I've always been taught in a speech to try to keep people engaged, you got to have a contest, because otherwise, you know, things just go crazy. So I want to talk about focus. Again, that's probably the biggest thing that I always take back whenever I look at anything is the ability to focus or try to focus on it. My focus might not be very long, but hopefully it can really propel to get things done. So Alexis assured me, normally we have the $5,000 prize in the New York, and Tony wins it or something like that in the past. But so she's assured me she's got a prize. So both people in person and online can compete on this. Super simple game, just bear with me. I know it's childish, but I want you to take 30 seconds. And what we're going to do is test to see who has the most focus, because we may need some more people on committees this year. So if we're going to look at that, you got the way the rules are. You're going to have 30 seconds to focus on one color. And that color, you're going to try to memorize as many things in the room that's that particular color. And then I'm going to get you to close your eyes. And we're going to see who can remember the most of one color that they've been the most observant. So quickly, I'm going to give you maybe 20 seconds. I want you to focus on, extremely powerful, as many things as you saw in the room that were white. So here you go. Memorize as many things you can see. Look around, everything you can think about. Okay, now even if you're at home, bear with me. Close your eyes really quickly, otherwise you'd be cheating. And I want you to tell me as many things as you saw in the room that were blue. So there's a chuckle. I've done this before, and you'll try to rack your brain. Open your eyes, look around. What you're going to see is there's really blue everywhere. If you look from people's face masks to water bottles, on and on and on. But the thing with focus is it's hugely powerful when we do it and we look at the one thing, but we can also be blinded by our focus. So I was going to try to high level describe what I think from being involved in the early days on the negotiating committee with MPI to where it is now. And if I were to describe one thing with MPI, I would say there's been a whole lot of noise. There's been a lot of noise. Brett, I heard one of his expressions, it might be growing on you. He said, value for work performed. I just about fell over. No, but we've heard that lots before. But what I would say, the focus going in from MPI strictly has been not about, in my personal opinion, online. We all know that we need online provisions. In fact, we need to be able to interact with customers however they want to be interacted with. That might be online, that might be text, that might be email, that might be fax, that might be phone call, that might be in person. But I would suggest their focus was a changing of the distribution model when we peel it back. So it's been our job to identify all the blue in the room, using that example. Meaning, what else do we do? Advice, advocacy, consumer protection, choice, competition, availability of service. So I think we've done a very reasonable job to date. Again, sometimes it's good to be taking a step back and still to know what's going on, but to see progress, because sometimes the people in the trenches, you might feel like you're not making progresses, but from a high level, if I look at where we started and the verbiage we heard to where the verbiage we are right now, I'm probably on the glass 3/4 full that we're going to see results in the relatively near future on that. So the other focus I want to talk about was COVID-19. So I think, honestly, if we flip it the other way, we've got the biggest opportunity that some of us will ever see in a generation. What do I mean by that? So, yes, things happen. We have to do things differently. We have the ability right now to up our game. What do I mean by upping our game? So, I'll use an example. When we're in an office setting, quite often we're distracted, we're talking, it's interacting with colleagues, it's wonderful. I know myself, I get lots of phone calls, messages, and I'm like, yeah, I got to call that person back, and then I get distracted, and I go over here, and I do this, I do that. What do we have the ability to do right now? When you get a call, what should we do? Call back. Get an email back. Up our service, both in our own brokerages, obviously our partners we work with. So one of the things that I was actually proud of that I saw last night in the hotel, I saw signs that says physical distancing must be adhered to. And I kind of thought, Fairmont gets it. Why do they get it? Because all I've heard for months is you must social distance. Social distance, social distance, social distance. You know, I think sometimes we may get it a little bit skewed. Actually, we need to socially connect more. It might not be in person. We need to have more conversations with our customers, more conversations with our companies, because if you're not doing it, somebody else is. And this is an opportunity for us to propel forward. I know from perspective, the computer techs probably in the room and all over, think about the opportunity you got. You've had, I know in my case, I have people at times trying to sell me something or pitch me something. You've got all these toys, this whole toy box of all these wonderful things and how we're going to do it, and look what this can do. This has been compressed into 4 months. Go do it. So the things that you might have thought about before would be a 10-year plan. You better get it done in 3 to 4 months and try it. So I would say from my personal experience, some of the things that we've used have worked wonderful, and in other cases where we built Rome, the crowd didn't show up. They're still wanting to do things the way they did before. So the key point from that is I think we just have the opportunity to really transition, and even with the younger generation, serve people how they want to be served. Be universal, and we'll really come out of this far, far better and long-lasting too. So I guess to kind of sum it up too, I've been on the IBAM board a long, long time. And it feels like forever. In fact, I'm starting to get gray hair now, but it's really only been in the last year or so. I think there might be a few reasons why. I want to thank everybody that I've ever had a chance to serve with, past presidents, CEOs, everybody, members that contribute to the organization. It's wonderful. I encourage anybody that has a chance or is given an opportunity. So probably one of the things that I try to adhere to the most is if we're going to identify problems, identify a solution. And if we are a solution-based organization and solution-based, absolutely, discussion's wonderful. And that's something that I'm extremely looking forward to in the next year. I'm going to leave you with one final thought. And the final thought is something that I catch myself in. And when we think about it, when you think about customers and everybody else we interact with, one thing that's always resonated with me is we tend to judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their actions. And if we think about that, and focus on our own actions and what we're going to do, turning intentions into actions, I'd rather try to do 10 things, 7 of which are a great success, 3 not so good, than to micromanage at 1 in an entire year. Thank you.